Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Monday, August 7th. I'm Michael Taylor. Thanks for joining us. We have a pretty great show for you today. I'm excited about this one. We have Harvard Eye Associates, Dr. John Hovannisian. He's going to be coming in and he's going to be talking about some eye health care stuff. Also, the Democratic Club's going to be here. Alan Feldman and Jeannie Leposki, and they're going to be talking about the regional housing needs assessment. They're going to be talking about some candidates they have coming into town. They're going to be talking about their big fundraisers coming up, so lots to go over with those guys, so we're going to stay tuned to that one. And speaking about lots to go over, we have some meetings that we want to keep you informed about and stay informed. Business plan reviews are going on. GRF is meeting today at 9:30. Don't run out of the house and turn off the 9 a.m. show if you're watching us. You can see that televised right after today, so if you just want to watch that one, you can watch it right here. It's going to be televised right after This Day. United is going to be meeting August 9th at 1:30, and Third is going to be on August 10th at 9:30 a.m. So those are some big meetings. They're big business plan reviews are going on. Lots of people want to know lots about those things. Let's take a look outside. If you do head outside today after the show, it's going to be a great day. We had some really warm temperatures this weekend, but a little bit cooler for us as we head into the week. We may even crack into the 70s by Thursday or Friday. We'll see about that. But right now it looks like it's going to be 80s across the board with sunny to mostly sunny for most of the week. We had a little more marine layer on Wednesday and Thursday, so it might be a little bit of the AM clouds we see hanging around just a little bit, but most of all, sunny skies for most of the days. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset, and we've got a pretty cool picture for us here, right? A little honeybee going on. This is from Mark Rabinowitz, and he sent this photo in. And our sunrise this morning was 6:07. Sunset, 7:45 tonight. The days are getting a little bit shorter out there, so enjoy these summer days while you can. And if you'd like to send us a picture, we'd love to see it and share it just like we did this one. So send us your pics. You can email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you give us your name, where you took the photo, and make sure it's a horizontal picture with your phone. Turn it to the side when you're taking that shot, and then send it on into us, and we'll put it on our sunrise and sunset. Okay, we got the big meeting coming up I told you about. Take a look at that, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to folks from Harvard Eye Associates.
Hi there, it's Bob Eubanks. You probably know me from the Newlywed Game, but what you may not know is I'm the only living person to have produced a Beatles show all 3 years they toured America. I've put together a great show called Backstage with the Beatles. I tell seldom or never before heard stories that lead up to music with a Beatle band on stage with me, Ticket to Ride. We're going to be here, Laguna Woods, in the Pack, September 23rd at 7 p.m.
Joint care so exceptional, you'll wish you'd done it sooner. At Memorial Care, we're voted high in patient satisfaction for a reason. Our specialized surgeons and care teams understand the pain you're going through, as well as the best personalized treatment to get you back to what you love sooner. With nationally recognized care, advanced technology like our Precision Mako surgical system, and support that's always by your side. Get ready to go forth with renewed joy. A new movement awaits at Memorial Care Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now is Dr. John Hovannisian, and thank you for being here today. Wondering if you got any sleep last night. You said you had about 20 14-year-olds sleeping on the floor at your house?
It wasn't 20, but my son invited a whole group of friends over who were trying to eke out the last bit of summer. And so I woke up with a whole group of 14-year-olds sleeping in my living room. It was lots of fun to see. Very cute.
That's wonderful.
Like you, I've got a bunch of kids hanging around at home.
Yes,
so.
Yes. There's always extras at our house. The other night I just took a little video at dinner time because a few extra kids always seem to be around at dinner time, and all of a sudden they all started jumping up, singing and dancing, and and then they started throwing their water bottles. So. Oh. Life with boys, right?
The first part of that was okay.
It always ends in a fight.
It devolved to, that's the problem, isn't it? That's right.
So last time you were here, we talked about medications that help control your blood sugar and your weight, and are these a problem for your eye health? And I believe my understanding was that the consensus is under a doctor's supervision, that things will mellow out if your eyes change during the start of those medications.
Yeah, that's right. It's,
Right.
If you control your blood sugar, if you take care of your body, turns out you're taking pretty good care of your eyes as well.
And so this time we're talking about exercise and how exercise could help your eye health. And I mean, it should be no surprise at this point that exercise helps all facets of health. Excuse me, of health. But truly, can exercise help your eye health?
It really does, and some interesting science has kind of supported that now. I think most of us who live here in Southern California look around and see the beautiful environment we're in and see the other people who live here tend to be fairly healthy people. We realize that over age 40, exercise is the fountain of youth, and that really is true. If you want to stay vital and vibrant and mentally healthy, as well as retain your senses, exercise is one of those things, along with diet, that you can do, and being happy. Just being a happy person makes a huge difference in how our health goes in the future. But there was an interesting study. We've known for a while about the background here, which is that exercise drives healthier blood vessels, good cardiovascular health. If the heart can pump, healthy blood through the vessels and carry nutrients to our target organs and take away toxins that develop, we are going to live a longer, better quality of life, right? And we've seen that in the eyes. We've seen people who exercise are less prone to have glaucoma develop. We've seen people who exercise and get regular, a well-balanced diet are less likely to develop cataracts. One interesting study that was done recently looked at macular degeneration. And this is, we know already, the leading cause of legal blindness in the United States for people over age 65. Nothing is worse than macular degeneration as a cause of blindness, because it takes away the vision right in the center. So you can see the world, but everything but what you're looking at. So if you're looking at a printed page, the letters you're looking at are indistinct and hard to see. So we don't want to have macular degeneration. In this study, they took a small group of mice, 6 who were allowed to exercise. They were given an exercise wheel in their cage, and 6 who were not. And they did a study where they simulate the effect of macular degeneration to see how much impact it had on their eyes, or they simulated what happens at the beginning of macular degeneration. Turns out those who did not exercise had almost twice as much development of visual blindness, develop a visual compromise, compared to those who exercised. So those who exercised, just like their joints and their heart and every other part of their body is more resilient, so were their eyes. And their eyes were less likely to go blind, effectively, from macular degeneration than those who were not.
That's so interesting and crazy with the mice, because one of the things that I was reading about this was that with people who are reporting their exercise, and we all don't always necessarily say the truth or accurately say it. Like, when you go to the doctor, like, oh, well, do you drink? Oh, sure, I drink 1 to 2 glasses on the weekend. Well, actually, if we're going out Friday and Saturday night, it's 1 or 2 glasses Friday and Saturday night, right?
And that's just before dinner.
So one of the interesting things with the mice is they know exactly how much exercise or not exercise, is happening.
Yeah.
And how can these findings be applied now?
Yeah.
Like, what more does this help us to learn?
That's a great question. That is the question to ask, isn't it? What does this change for us today? I think it reinforces things that we already know, but it expands it perhaps to macular degeneration, which is such a cause of fear among older people, understandably. That if you exercise, you are helping every part of your body. You're helping yourself prevent diseases like cataract, like glaucoma that we knew. And here this evidence supports that even macular degeneration is prevented by regular exercise. So get outside. We probably should talk about what that means. Exercise doesn't need to be terribly strenuous. Just walk. Walking 30 minutes a day is tremendous. Get your heart rate up. Don't stop. Continuously walk through the neighborhood or wherever you like to. You can go to the shopping mall if you like air conditioning, and just walk. Use your body. Gardening is terrific. Getting up and down and moving around your body is so good for your joints and muscles. And it turns out it's actually exercise, be careful to protect your eyes with sunglasses or some type of protection, because there's a lot of eye injuries that happen during gardening, believe it or not.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're
does.
looking somewhere else and then you smack a branch or whatever.
Exactly right. You lean down and there's any form of exercise that you like is the best one for you. Any one that you'll continue, right?
Well, and it's consistent exercise.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
type
5
thing.
days a week. We think that's probably a good target to aim for. If you can do 7, great, but 5 days a week is a great way to maintain a healthy body and a healthy mind.
So what about swimming? Because in the pool, maybe your eyes are being in contact with chlorine or salt water if you're in the ocean.
So I'm a swimmer. In fact,
Okay.
I swam about 2,500 yards this morning with a whole bunch of friends in Laguna Beach. We have a great club of people who swim. Big fan of it because I think it works the whole body and it makes me a more balanced person. But swimming's great, but wear goggles. There's stuff that grows in even well-chlorinated swimming pools that can cause real damage to the eyes. And so when you're in a pool, I tell everybody of any age, put on your goggles. And a little bit of water exposure is fine, but try to avoid a lot of water exposure.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful, great. I appreciate the info on that. And so when you were down at the beach today, did you see any of the motorized hang gliders?
Oh, they're all over these powered parachutes, I think is the term they use for
Okay.
them. That's more during the day, but and I swim. To be fair, I swim in a pool, not in the ocean. Too many variables in the ocean for me. Although right now the water's been so warm, it's certainly tempting. But we have a great pool in Laguna Beach where I live, and
That's
enjoy that a
wonderful.
lot. So yeah.
Any further vacations you have planned this summer or anything?
There's always something unexpected happening with family, so we'll be doing some vacationing before the end of the summer anyway.
All right, well,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Not much
Enjoy-
left of it, right? Your
I
kids go back
know.
to school right away in
Yes.
a couple weeks. So
Couple of weeks.
Mine
and
too.
It's hard because I loved it when school used to be like towards the end of the month of August.
Labor Day, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because I have a bunch of birthdays in August. So that used to be our vacation month and then celebrate big parties with birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're like, last year my son literally, I think it was the first day of school, he didn't go to school because it was his birthday and we went to Wild Rivers instead. So
good for you.
We're like,
You're
well,
a
we
good
just
mom.
blew that, what's the everyday being in school we don't miss?
Yeah,
We
right.
just-
Perfect attendance
yeah,
records.
Perfect attendance.
Ruined it on the first day of
We blew that on
school.
the first. We actually went to school to take a picture with the marquee that had his name up, happy birthday.
How
And,
cute.
and then we
And then
left
didn't go to school.
to school.
I love it. I love it.
Got to take those moments.
Your kids will remember that forever, though.
Absolutely,
Right? So,
absolutely. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Good to see you, Bobby.
Stay with us. We will have more of This Day right after this.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that conversation with the Harvard Eye Associates folks. Now we're going to have a great conversation with Democratic Club. And joining us for that, Alan Feldman and Jeannie Lepowski. Thanks for coming in again. It's great to see you guys again. Tell us a little bit about, like I always try to do, a little bit about the Democratic Club for anybody who doesn't know what it's all about. Seems self-evident.
Yeah, it's a political club chartered by the Democratic Party of Orange County. We hold monthly meetings. We bring guest speakers, like a lot of the clubs do here. And really, our job, as we see it, is to get people to vote, get people out to vote, number one, and elect Democrats, 1 and 1A.
Right. So it's a great way for folks who want to maybe see some candidates, get a little involved, find out what the issues are, to kind of like, that's a good entree to figure these things out.
That's really what we try to do. That's what we try to do with our meetings. We try to bring a diversity of people, diversity of subjects, not just strictly politics, but diversity of subjects for people, things that people would be interested in.
August 15th, you got a speaker coming in, and that's not exactly it's not a candidate, but it's a great topic.
Right, exactly. It's basically a topic about women and women's rights. And our speaker is Elahi Amani. She is going to talk about, her topic is entitled Women, Life, Freedom, No Turning Back, a Historical Renaissance in Iran. And the reason why she calls it a renaissance is because, as many of us remember, there was a revolution in, I believe it was 1979. It was called the Islamic Revolution, and it was a religious takeover of the government, essentially. And so Iran became a theocracy. Women's rights were greatly curtailed during that time. And then back in last year, in September of 2022, there was a woman who was arrested for not wearing her hijab, which is a religious requirement rather than a choice. And she was arrested, and she died in custody for not wearing her hijab correctly. And that caused widespread protests. And those protests, some people say, are going to lead, or they were saying at least, that it's going to lead to the overthrow of the government. And there have been some minor changes, as I understand it, but we'll learn more from Elahi Amani next week on the 15th when she comes. We're going to be in Clubhouse 2, the main lounge, and the program starts at 7, but you can come early if you want to chit-chat with people.
And I heard actually just this week the enforcement of the hijab has actually started up again in Iran, so it's unfortunate. It sounds like that maybe going back to that again.
Yeah, and there's always this give and take on rights, and we've had our own struggles here in the United States with regard to women's rights, and as everybody knows, there are some rights that have now been curtailed for women, and there are people who are pushing to do further curtailment, and this is especially with regard to women's health and pregnancy and contraception and things like that. So it's an important issue for us as women in the United States to learn from. So these are things that can happen, although we never were as bad as, well, not in my lifetime, we were never as bad as it was in Iran, but there are still lessons that we can learn. So it's going to be a very interesting meeting.
And Alan, none of this happens free, so you guys have some fundraisers coming up. And you guys you fundraise the funds, and you can hold the events and get these speakers and do what you guys do. So tell us a little bit about what you have coming up.
Exactly. So in September the 10th, we have our annual dinner/fundraiser. It's going to be September the 10th at Clubhouse 1. It begins at 5:15. People can start arriving at 4:30. We're going to have a silent auction, which we usually have mostly gift cards for local businesses, restaurants, supermarkets, things that people can use. We're going to have a live auction. There'll be door prizes. We have a guest speaker, and that's going to be former State Controller Betty Yee. Betty Yee has been elected twice to the California Board of Equalization, which I understand is the only publicly elected tax authority in America. And she's been elected controller twice. She stepped down in 2022 because of term limits. But in 2018, she was the leading vote-getter in the entire state of California in the election. And there's a really good chance she's going to run for governor in 2026. So we're excited to have her. And if people want to go, there's a flyer, which you can see up on the screen now. But at the bottom of that flyer, there's a tear-off. So if you want to sign up and pay, it costs $35 for club members, $40 for non-members. You can fill that out, send in your check, tells you where to send it. If you prefer to do it online, the flyer will tell you the website you can access to pay with credit card. But the only thing is we are limited in the number of people we can accommodate, so it's usually a very well-attended event.
Do it now. Get registered.
Better now than later. Right, you don't want to get a
And where
shut
can
out.
people find the flyer if they...
The flyer is in all the clubhouses.
Okay, great. And so they can get that.
Yeah.
How important is the fundraising part of the mechanism for your organization?
Oh, it's very important for us. And this is not the only time we fundraise. We do it all year long. Rebecca Guillard, our vice president, and Ray Dapp, they're in charge of fundraising. They find all these creative ways to hold our hands out. But the reason we fundraise is so that we can support candidates, especially local candidates running in what we call down ballot elections.
Right.
It's really, especially in a presidential year, it's hard for these candidates to get heard. Makes it even harder to raise money.
Right.
And whether we like it or not, if you want to run a good campaign, you have to raise money.
Right, have to raise money. The big ticket guys in the presidential races, those guys know how to do it. They have the mechanism in place. But these local candidates, I mean, it's like $25, $50 donations are a big deal that really can make a difference in terms of them sending up their flyers or they're doing whatever they're going to do.
Right. It takes money, and we try to support them as best we can. The more money that we raise, the more money we can contribute to them. We also contribute to local nonprofit, not only local, but nonprofit organizations like the Foundation in Laguna Woods, and also we Planned Parenthood and the Brady Campaign, and also South County Outreach. So.
Now, not quite a partisan issue, but one that's definitely can get contentious a little bit is regional housing needs assessment that's been going on around here.
Right. And one of the issues I see is that people don't really understand what it means and how it works. And that's not because people are just uninformed, it's because it's a complicated issue.
Right.
So there are a couple of terms I'd like to define. First of all, RHNA is Regional Housing Needs Assessment, and it's a needs assessment that's forward-looking. And what it does is it determines how the zoning in our city needs to change. So it means that our city needs to figure out how to zone for an additional 997, that's the number that Laguna Woods has come up with, the city came up with. So how to zone for those additional houses. That doesn't mean they're going to be built. Okay,
right.
because
but if they're going to put them somewhere, where would they go?
Exactly,
right.
Exactly. So we can't say, well, there's this unoccupied building next to Stater Brothers, which there was at one time not too long ago, and can we build housing there? No, the answer is no, because it's not built, it's not zoned for housing. So the idea is to, how do we change the zoning in Laguna Woods to make sure that if we need the additional 997 units of housing, which we may or may not, then we know where they're going to go, and we don't have to go through all kinds of, the city doesn't have to go through all kinds of convolutions.
Right, and all sorts of planning goes into that in terms of traffic and how we're going to get utilities and those kinds of things, the increase in that. So it's not just, hey, we're going to redraw a map. It's where are we going to go from here?
Exactly right. And the way that's determined, something that a lot of people, probably most people don't know, I didn't know it until fairly recently, is that needs assessment is determined by the Southern California Association of Governments. And the Southern California Association of Governments includes all of the cities that are in all of the counties that are in Southern California, which goes from Ventura, Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, and all the way south to the Mexican border.
Right.
So all of those organizations are required by California law to, all of those cities are required by law to come up with a needs assessment. And they do that by talking to each other, planning together.
It's a holistic approach. You can't just be one isolated city making all this sense. So everybody's going to share a little bit of the pain and the blood and everything that goes with those things. So.
And one more thing I want to make sure people know.
Real quick.
If you go to the City of Laguna Woods, you can get a frequently asked questions about the Regional Housing Needs Assessment.
Okay.
You can also get a map of the zones.
Take a look at what we have now. And where Okay.
Yep.
Terrific. Hey, always a pleasure to have you guys in.
Thank you.
Jeannie and Alan, thank you so much from the Democratic Club. We'll be right back with a preview of Monday's movie. Stay with us.
At Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital, we are dedicated to emergency veterinary care through high-quality veterinary services and compassion. We offer state-of-the-art diagnostics at competitive pricing. Our doctors will see and care for dogs, cats, and most exotics. In case of emergency, rest assured Healing Hearts Emergency is here for you when your primary veterinarian is closed. Open nights, weekends, and all major holidays.
A will is not enough to avoid probate. However, if you have a will, a trust, a complete estate plan, then you will avoid probate. We encourage you to come meet with us. It's complimentary. We'll review the estate plan, make sure that it's current, covers all of your assets, and you're actually protected.
I'd like to personally thank LS Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Hi, remember us?
We're back,
Christine and Jack from the Jewelry Box.
which is now the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers.
Relocated in a new spot in our old shopping center.
But we're still Orange County's preeminent buyer of gold, jewelry, watches, and flatware.
And we're still a full jewelry repair center. And with our 3 graduate gemologists, we're still here to appraise your special pieces.
And like always, at the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers,
It's about trust.
I'm so happy to recommend Dr. Fairman. I've been going to her for 9 years. She's done implants, crowns, bridges, root canals, and I've been happy with everything that she's done. The staff is so friendly and pleasant, kind, and gentle. I would recommend her to anyone.
We are now fully open for all your dental needs and invite you to come in and experience the brilliant smile difference.
We are close to Gate 6 near Snooty Fox Restaurant behind Coco's.
It's Monday, so that means it's movie time, folks. So let's take a look at the Monday movie. This one's called Captain Fantastic, and it is a really good one with Viggo Mortensen. It was kind of a sleeper, you know. It isn't Lord of the Rings, it isn't some Marvel movie, so it didn't get a big play when it was in the theaters a few years back, but it's a really well-reviewed. It's a film about a family that lives in isolation in the forest of the Pacific Northwest. Father, played by Viggo Mortensen, raises his 6 kids with a kind of rigorous physical and intellectual education. Tragedy strikes the family, and they have to kind of go into the real world, and they see the good and the bad of it all that his father's been keeping him away from all these years. So anyway, that's coming up on the Monday movie, 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles, and that is brought to us by Harvard Eye. And let's take a look outside and check that weather one more time before we go. It's going to be a warm one, not as bad as this weekend was, man. This weekend was really warm inland, really high 80s and some 90s. We're going to have lower to mid 80s for the rest of the week. That should be nice and comfortable, and maybe even some clouds and a little cooler on Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow on This Day, the Old Pros presents and Fit Brain Club. So make sure you join us for that. Should be some fun conversations there. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us on the program, we hope you make this day a great one.
Hearing is part of your foundational health. Having the best hearing you can affects every aspect of your life. Hearing is related to your balance, your memory, your communication, and your overall positive well-being. Hi, I'm Ann Mundell-Noel, owner of Amazing Hearing. As an audiologist, my passion is to give you the best hearing health available based on your individual needs. Call us today to schedule an appointment. We're located in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center.